listening to
Kayak Adventure Series.
Kayak Adventure Series. This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore, you want to be shallow, you want to go up the
You
creek,
want to have a kayak that is sophisticated.
or a kayak that is simple.
You get to choose your own adventure.
Oh, looky there. That's a micro bag. I hope you brought the family. This is going to be wild. Hey, this adventure is going to be amazing.
Yo,
What's up?
made it. Back from out west. Made it.
Yeah, that was a wild adventure, I'm sure.
Yes, man. This is very much a kayak adventure series, sort of. I guess the reason that I love kayak fishing and exploring wild places. That's why I went out to Lake Havasu in Arizona, right, to fish that Bassmaster event. We talked about it last week. We got off the live, hopped on a flight with Jake Cook here, Northeast Ohio, and somehow put back on the flight carrying this. So that was crazy, wild. Been on some podcasts to talk about already, so you guys can go check those out. It's Smalley Talk and Fishing with Gramps with JT Hickman, and I might show a clip or two here real quick in our intro before we get going. But let's face it, people are going to be watching this live for months, getting ready for the South Boston Bassathon, and we're titling this the preview show for that, so they don't want to hear and see all about something that's old news. But we got to touch on it. But Jake, how are you, buddy? How's it going? How cold is it where you live?
It's warming up. So we took the blunt. We've been having it before it pushed down to everyone else. So it's 30. It's going to be a 35 today. So it's going to be a heat wave.
Whoa. But yeah, I'd love to see 35. My wife's car wouldn't start. Battery's just
I
done.
actually went fishing on Friday. Believe it or not, I went down the river in the icy, cold weather.
Yeah, but that was like, I know that had to be like, oh, this is going to be just to do it sort of thing. You know what I mean? Just for like content.
I caught a fish.
You caught one. Oh, wow. That's impressive, dude. That's very impressive with how cold that is. But yeah, that's killing it in cold weather like that.
Yeah, well, part of the problem is with the melt, because it was a little bit warmer that day. The river was rising, so you had all that like cold snow water coming in, and I think we hit like 300 CFS while we were on the river, and typically that stretch is like 75. So
Okay.
it was like an obstacle course.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, that's killing it on a day that's cold. And speaking of killing it, we got Josiah in the chat here saying that good work on the pod, Drew and Jake. And I want to say good work to Jake, guys. Have you noticed, everyone in the chat, you can comment here, have you noticed our social media lately? How we've got a nice like vibe to our reels. Jake, you're making some really cool stuff. And we're doing exactly what I dreamt of. We are taking, it doesn't matter, you guys listening and watching, it doesn't matter to us. We are so welcoming and accepting of anyone and their style. And Jake, you're taking the footage that you guys give us. You're kind of covering yourself with your GoPro, whatever action camera. And we, the organization, are promoting you guys all equally. We love everyone's style. It's awesome that we can catch fish in so many different ways and so many different kayaks. We all have different body types and come from different backgrounds. And Jake, you're just doing an amazing job putting those reels together. And I just want to give you a little shout out there. So
Thanks.
good job, man. We had to hit 3.5 million views. One that went viral. So
Yeah, that one's still going.
Still going.
And we got another one of what's his
Weicker?
name?
Robert Weicker.
Robert Weicker having a moment.
Having a moment out there. That was a cluster. Everything kind of went wrong in a little 30-second span for him. So that was a funny one. I think I saw it was like around 80,000 views. Maybe last time. I don't know. That's
And if you guys have clips that you haven't submitted, we'll still take them. I don't even care if they're in a Kayak Adventure Series event, honestly.
Yeah, just send it in.
But ideally, if you haven't shared your stuff, this doc right here, clickable link, you can upload your footage and
yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you, Nakwa. Champs here. Appreciate that, guys. Let's show a clip so people can kind of see something. I'll share one that way you guys can see it. Let me show you the biggest fish catch from day number 2.
You know what I thought was interesting about those clips, because I was spoiled a little bit and I've looked at them all.
Here, I'll play this one.
Is you're doing some urban fishing, and this catch in particular, you can hear a truck backing up.
Oh yeah, there's.
It kept throwing me off. I was like, wait, is the garbage truck here? I'm looking out my window and I'm like, wait.
Yeah. Second cast of the day, which was incredible because it was hard to catch 5 fish in this tournament.
Cast. Come on, dude, stay on. Please stay on.
Oh god, that's a good
Somebody
one.
was telling me they caught a 20 out of
That's a good
the
one.
river.
Yeah, dude, I saw like a 6-pounder, like a largemouth that was 6 pounds.
Oh, really?
For sure.
Well, they were
Yeah.
saying they caught a 20 in smallmouth.
Yeah. Oh god, I saw some 19s and 20 smallmouths too.
They're just
So,
finicky. I mean, that's
yeah.
got to be like what 30-foot visibility. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, you can see 30 feet down. The next clip I will show real quick.
Freaking big one right off the bat.
Oh dude. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my Lord. No way that just freaking happened. Anyway, 17 3/4, guys. Literally my second cast. 17 3/4. I was in second place after day one, and I
Unreal.
the limit would have probably won the event because only 12 or 11 people actually got limits. I say 12 all the time. I accidentally say 12 because one guy actually had more with 4 fish than the guy that got a limit, the smallest limit. But
That's
I
a
will.
pretty smallmouth too.
Oh yeah, it was just gorgeous. But my fish mainly came from this school, and the school of fish that I found, I floated over on practice, and I'm real stealthy. I'm kind of casting into this school, this little area where they just kind of out in the middle. They were just kind of randomly behind a little depression, kind of sunning themselves. I got to pick my wedgie, of course, on camera here. You'll see that quite often from standing up and sitting down so much.
And one of those in that clip I edited for you, I made you look good. I cut all that out.
Got one. I have no idea.
Appreciate it. Hang on. I'll go full screen here. You can see all these fish chasing it in. Watch all these fish right here. If this is the clip. May not be the clip. I've got one where there's just tons of them chasing it in, like following. There's a ton of followers, and there's always a bunch of them following it. Like in this clip, you can see one following it, 1 or 2 right there. See them? But there's some clips you have to go back and watch. I'm sure Bassmaster will post it, but there were about 15 fish in that school. One time, all like 12 of them came and followed. So it was nuts.
It looks like a great spot to throw an A-rig.
Dude, now, I mean, it's just yes and no. It's like they just won't eat anything but what I was using. But they were throwing that Z-Man Gobius on an 8-pound test straight braid sunline, and just working. It's just so calm, and the water's not moving, and you really can't throw anything big like that. I mean, they'll see you from so far away. I'll try to find it, and then we'll get onto the show here. Fish, I think it was like this was day 2. That was my first fish on day 2. Sorry, that's why I was on the wrong day. It was a day 1 fish, and it was like the first one I caught, I think, out of there. Here they are. They're coming up right now. I don't know why they're taking forever, but day 1. Here we go. Fish number. I think it was fish 1. Or fish number 2. Here we go. I think it's this one here, guys. If you can see, I got a bunch of smallies that just come chasing in, like 12 of them. And they were all 15 to like 18 inches out of the school. Every one of them was
Bet
good.
you would have taken those.
Oh, we're taking anything. 5 fish. Only, I think 6 of us, 5 or 6 ended up catching a limit both days. And my last fish, so you guys see the disturbance on the water there? If you go look, do you see that disturbance up there? Like I cast and watch this disturbance right by my shoulder. That is the bass. That's the whole school attacking where the line is entering the water. Because sometimes, if you guys seen bass and bluegill, they'll see that line just breaking the surface, whatever. They think it's a bug or something. They were up there like charging the line. So I just wound it fast and brought it into the school to get my bait to them. They were fired up. And then I got one to eat. And I think this is where you'll see like maybe 12. I think I counted 12 one time when I paused it, following in that little sandy spot right here. See them all chasing it in? Look at them all. They were just all following her. So, anyway. And eventually I get her in. But that's enough of that. You guys know the story. Went over there, then ended up, it ended up winning, and I caught the last fish with 20 minutes to go. My fifth.
What'd you catch the last fish on?
Cross-eyes jig on straight braid, 30-pound test in a little cut that had little stained water coming in from a dredging like sand pit pond or something that was like right there connected to the river. There's a little stain line, like a milky stain. And I caught one in practice there with throwing the same jig and on that straight braid. So that was one spot I knew I could use my straight braid bait caster, get the heavy action stuff out or medium heavy. And hey, I was using a new prototype for a signature series rod that I'm helping, Yak Rods design. So it'll be I don't know what we're going to call it exactly, but it's very exciting. And those are the first prototypes I'd used, and they were perfect. So shout out to Yak Rods on that. But let's get into the show, man. Let's get into the South Boston Bassathon. You guys, are you ready for this, Jake? South Boston Bassathon is going to be amazing. Somebody's going to have an incredible adventure and experience like I did out there, just going somewhere maybe they've never been, exploring a new cool place in this country. We're going to bring in our guests here, Melissa and Tamara from the city of South Boston. What's up, guys? Good morning.
Good morning. So happy to be here.
Yeah,
we are so excited to welcome y'all to South Boston, Virginia.
well,
Not to be mixed up with South Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah, for sure.
I've had a lot of people message me being like, I'm not going to Massachusetts. I'm like, don't worry. It's in Virginia.
Yeah, let's face it. You're just excited for warmer weather. That's what you're really excited about. Talking about an event in your city when it's a little bit warmer than it is right now. What is the high today for you guys?
It started out this morning when I got up with 17. Right now it's 24.
Okay.
Wow. That's
Jake,
warm.
Yeah, Jake.
And we had snow
Compared to us.
Yeah, we did have some snow last night. Yeah.
Nice. I saw some video from Pensacola where it was just whipping snow. Like that was
Right.
That was crazy. So
Crazy.
anyway, but let's talk real quick. So I do want to apologize first of all because I'm going to pull in the website for the South Boston event, and I have all the rest of the event details ready to roll and put on the site. But because I won this tournament, my life was nuts for the last 3 days since I got home with interviews and media and all that stuff. So just so everyone knows, we will be getting all that information up probably like today or tomorrow. And I'm excited because the Staunton River State Park is going to be our official lodging partner, and there's amazing camping there. It's right on the lake, on the head of the lake, closest to your town, and it's just an amazing opportunity. Tell us about that state park and that area.
Well, one thing about that state park, it is where the Dan and the Stanton come together as far as the rivers. But one thing that you might not know, it is listed as one of the 6 places in the United States designated as an international dark sky park, ideal for stargazing. So there's a place there where they bring in astronomers, and these astronomers are just incredible, where they're over there on their computer and it's turning their telescopes. Anyway, it's a great dark sky place where they really reduce their outdoor pollution, but they have a lot of it's a great outdoor place for your guys. Yeah,
that's perfect. That's right up our alley. My wife loves, and my son, they're getting all into that. She just loves even taking pictures. She has her long lens, in her camera, her Nikon, and she's trying to find any drones around here or orbs or any of that stuff that was going on. She's trying to get pictures of them all. And anyway, it's something that she's going to be excited about. So I know she's going to want to come to this event with the kids, and we're going to have a blast. Can't wait to explore. And now you also said something that was intriguing. So is it called the Stanton River? Because I've always said Staunton. The way
it is Stanton.
It
Locally,
on
it's
where
Stanton.
you are.
Mhm. It's where is it Staunton?
It depends on who you are, like where.
Oh, really?
From.
Yeah.
Like it's the accent. We
Yeah.
call it Stanton. Some people call it Staunton.
That's so weird because
Yeah.
I fish a lake for a city called Staunton, and they call it Staunton.
Yeah, we have Stanton River State Park, Stanton River Battlefield State Park. Locally, that's the way it's pronounced. There's also a couple hours down the road of Stanton, Virginia, a town, which is also called Stanton. But that's just locally the pronunciation.
Okay, perfect. Well, now we know we won't look silly calling it something else for the locals there. And you guys in the comments, we'll pull in any of your comments. I see lots of people online right now commenting and stuff. If you have any questions anytime throughout the show, just hit us up. But let's talk about other parts of your town that we're going to be utilizing, right? So we're going to be at the Prizery. Is that? Yeah, that's correct. The Prizery.
Right.
Oh, I'm so excited about this theater. I'm so excited. That was one of the things I loved about this concept, was getting to explore all these quaint downtowns, these revitalized cool areas. And your town is not, some big town. It's just cute. It's got enough of the modern amenities, for sure. But I just love that size town, and that theater is incredible. So tell us about that and where the festival is going to be, our festival, before we get into that theater for the awards.
Yeah, we're just a small, like you said, quaint, charming little town. And within the town, it's 8,000, 37,000 in the county, but within our town, it's 8,000. But the Prizery is a building that's located within our historic tobacco warehouse district downtown. And so we took a tobacco warehouse, where long ages ago tobacco, well, not that long, but ages ago, the tobacco was prized or pressed into hogshead barrels where like 1,000-pound barrels. And so that's where the name comes from. The prizery means pressed. And so there's a lot of tobacco history there. That's how that's how it gets its name. So we took that warehouse and kind of, at the time, I was kind of the called the glue that kept the crazy artists together. But they kind of like, one wanted theater, one wanted different spaces within the building, but we ended up with an incredible theater within this space. And so y'all are going to love having your closing ceremonies in that space.
That's awesome. And how many, you may not know this, but because you work for like your downtown South Boston, but how many does it seat? Do you remember that or no? Is it a couple hundred?
325-ish, I think.
Let's pack it out, guys. Let's pack it out. Let's get over to South Boston and pack it out and have a fun time. Now that festival is gonna be right there. You said like in Constitution Square. Is that what it's called?
Constitution Square, which is within walking distance of this theater. It is a
screen.
Yeah, a green space. It's got a stage in it, and it's just a little walk across the street. And so that's where we can, put some food trucks, some bounce houses, and some various things, and have a great time leading into your closing ceremonies. Yeah, it'd be great.
So here's the Constitution Square, guys. I've got the screen pulled up. You guys can see that. And then here's the prizery right over here where this yellow is. So here's what's beautiful about this. Okay, we as anglers, Melissa and Tamara, we got a lot of kayaks and trailers and stuff, and we need parking's always kind of an issue. But look at all this right here. Big parking lot right behind it. That's going to be easy for us. So we appreciate that big parking lot.
That's always the logistical challenge. And it's always something that causes me a lot of stress because I'm like, well, where am I going to park?
Yeah, exactly. So you guys, this is an easy one. It's going to be a lot of fun. The river is right here. Look how beautiful this is. You can drive down right here, this little road, and see there's an access right here. We may or may not have some kayak demos at this festival. If it's something you guys want to do, it's a little bit of a drive over there. Maybe get a golf cart. I don't know, Tamara, if you guys have any connections, a little ATV, someone in town can shuttle some people over there and test out a feel free kayak, or I say feel free because of the naming sponsor of this event. We have a manufacturer that supports every event, donates a kayak that we'll talk to Jake here in a minute from Feel Free, and raise money for autism this year in 2025. So through the Autism Anglers group. But anyway, we might have some kayak demos there of any of the brands that sponsor the Kayak Adventure Series. But that's cool. Now, if we decided, is this where we're going for an after party or the B.A.S.S. University brunch on Friday? I think it is, right?
The brewery, Factory Street Brewing Company, is where we're doing our check-in as well as the after party.
That's right. So we just walk right over to the brewery after the event's over. But our check-in and registration, if you still haven't registered, will be right here. So you can see at the Factory Street Brewing Company. You can see just how this is kind of like we've done it for a season now. This is all kind of like flowing and coming together. And you can tell, guys, with how close all these things are together in this town, the river, the brewery, the theater, like how there are just these perfect towns for what we do for the Kayak Adventure Series. You got great fishing nearby. It's awesome. We're excited about it. So I'm trying to think of what else we need to cover with you guys that you can think of.
Opening ceremonies are also going to be held in the banquet hall of the prizery. So it won't be in the theater part, but it'll be upstairs the prizery where we'll have the brunch. Yeah, the brunch.
Oh, the brunch, on Friday, the B.A.S.S. brunch. So that's in right. In the
that'll be in the banquet hall of the prizery.
In the banquet hall. Right. Okay. Opening ceremonies, brewery. And again, this all is written somewhere and I'll put it on the website. And then, B.A.S.S. brunch right at the prizery. So the point is, everyone, if you're paying attention here, it's all happening right there in downtown South Boston. So you guys should stay as close as possible. Let's all camp together. The more of us that can camp at that Staunton River State Park, I know I'll be there. They've got cabins. I would reserve them right now. If you're trying to get in on this, go reserve a campground site, a cabin right now, because part of the Kayak Adventure Series, the biggest part is the fellowship and the fun that we have together, right? As anglers and friends. So if we're all together camping, we can share resources. Hey, you got some extra line or got some baits or whatever, you guys can, all that can happen. Plus just the fun of being together. And so I'm excited that we've got a nice home base for everything here. And this is going to be a great one. Cannot wait. So thank you guys so much for your time. We cannot wait to be there and start seeing the registrations roll in. First 50 do get $100 gift bag from our sponsors $100 worth of products from our sponsors. We'll talk with one of those sponsors here in just a few minutes after we talk to Jake from Feel Free. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Stay warm.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Looking forward to it.
All right, bye. Wow, that's exciting, man. It gets me fired up when I start looking at the satellite image and I just start envisioning all the fun we're gonna have and the drinks and the food. And but let's get
this
Jake.
One's an interesting one because it's a lot more unknown.
Yeah.
Because there's just that lake too. Roanoke Lake is massive.
I'm gonna pull Jake in here or Mark from Mark. You can nod your head. I can see you. You good? If we wait for like 10 minutes here, okay, he's good. Jake, I think it's good here from Feel Free. What's up, Jake?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Excited to have you guys back on board. You guys were our naming sponsor or official kayak manufacturer for the Wisconsin River Fest, which was a hit. I mean,
actually, we have a picture.
Yeah. So yeah, Mike was there for the Bass Hunter, and that one, Roland came out to that one, and it was a good time. So glad you guys made it to that one, and everyone loved the kayak. You guys raffled off and raised a good amount of money that helped us for
people were blown away by the wheel. That was
the wheel and the kill is kind of like our known feature.
That
it's a patented thing, and you can easily get it in and out of the water. And it's been a feature that like a lot of people really like and a staple for our brand for sure. So
I would agree. That's like what I think people would say first about Feel Free. But you've got a lot of other really cool innovation that I think if you want to share with us anything, if you have anything new that you guys announced last year or anything new that you want to share, this is the time you could do that. If not, we could just talk about, a couple of the boats or you could give us an update on how the company's doing because you're out of Asheville and you guys got hammered by, was it Helene? Was that the one?
Yeah, we actually just moved warehouses. And that was primarily before Helene. We were planning to do that. So we moved our operation to Old Fort, North Carolina, which is about 15 minutes outside of Asheville proper. And that gave us the ability to open a Waterways Old Fort store, which is our retail side of the business.
Okay.
So it's super cool. So like we're in this little tiny town, 700 people, kind of cool outdoor little community, and we can bring the kayaks right over from where we warehouse directly over to where we sell them. In terms of new product for the year, the Lure series, the Moken series, and the Dorado series of kayaks are all staying relatively the same. We're just streamlining a couple of new colors, and then we're going to have a couple of limited edition drops kind of mid-year. The one product we're adding to our lineup this year is the Airship, which we kind of sneak peeked at ICAST a few years ago. It's taken us a little bit longer with production of getting like our tubes and some of our design and stuff figured out, longer than we thought it would be. But that's coming out this spring. So we're getting ready to head down to Florida to do a photo shoot with that in the next couple of days.
Nice. Is that on the website anywhere yet or not yet?
Not yet. No, we had it on there. There's a couple like sneak peeks if you search it on Google from like ICAST a couple years ago.
Airship.
I'll find it.
Airship. Is that an inflatable? What is that?
Yeah, so it's going to be an inflatable pedal drive kayak.
Interesting.
And the idea is like, it packs into about a golf bag size bag. So you could like maybe, you hear like we've been really following the Texas lunker hunt kind of content that's coming out over there in Texas where they're bagging some really big bass.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be cool to fly in for like 5 days, fish, get a rental car, not spend a lot, hit those lakes and then fly back out. So,
hey, you can even win a tournament doing that, man.
Yeah.
I know a guy. I know a guy who just did that. So.
Yeah.
This is it, right?
Yep. So that's Peter. He's our designer.
Yeah.
He's lives in New Zealand. Feel Free's manufactured over in Thailand.
Inflatable technology.
Yep. And it's
that's
inflatable.
cool. That's actually really cool, man.
Yeah. And the technology's been around for a long time. So it uses like an internal pod with an external piece. That's basically how your Coast Guard like tugboats are made. So it's kind of like where that material comes from. The pod floats without the inflatable. So if the inflatable lost air, you can safely get back.
That's cool. Man,
this is really
awesome.
marketed towards people who want to be able to have a full-fledged kayak that don't necessarily have a truck.
Yeah. So a couple of our employees live in Austin, Texas, and they fish Ladybird Lake a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously Ladybird's a really cool lake, but they live in like a housing situation where they can't store a 13.5 lure or a 12-foot Dorado or something. 10-foot kayak. So this is kind of the idea, was like they needed something they can pack up, and then we call it pack up and slay. So you can get out there, slay some fish, and then pack it up and go home. So that's kind of the audience.
I'm very familiar with that lake.
Yeah.
Having lived in Austin for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake knows.
Yeah,
it.
Then,
big ones. That's cool, man.
Giants.
If you don't, some people don't have the means to have a truck and trailer either. Like once you get into like our Dorado market, it's a full-fledged commitment. Like in terms of what all the sub gear you need, like car-wise, trailers.
Definitely,
like that,
those inflatables draft really shallow too. So
yeah, that's cool. That's very cool, man. I like that little hatch that was even like built in with the seat there, and that like pod that the seat's sitting on.
Yeah, so there'll be 2 different pods. There'll be an angler pod, which will have like accessories for like your pliers, your like a magnet for your lure, stuff like that. And then there'll be like an adventure pod, which will be more like stuff for people that are maybe going to go to like the springs in Florida, kind of just want to, maybe fishing's not really like the necessity. So
yeah, it's perfect, man. That's exciting. Well, cool, dude. And we're excited that you guys are going to donate. I don't know which boat you're donating. We don't have to figure that out now, but Bones, I don't know. Or do you know? I mean,
so we're going to donate. In terms of the model, I'm not sure yet, but we're planning to have a couple that are custom painted.
Oh, that's right.
Colors, and those colors will be, hopefully the money will go toward the autism. So.
Right. That's exactly right. It was going to be because you guys have already worked with, I'm glad you brought that up, because Bones did tell me you guys have worked with the autism anglers. If you actually go on autismanglers.org, or I think that's their website, then you'll see partners, and you guys are listed as a partner. And you guys had a custom autism anglers colored kayak done before, and you donated to them. So this is like right up your alley. You guys know those folks over there. So this is really cool that you're going to make a special edition kayak for the raffle to support autism. So let's get, let's raise, thousands of dollars at this one event for autism through that donation. So that's amazing. Thank you guys so much for that. And we are glad that Feel Free is back up and running. You got moved and everything's, okay. And all your employees and everyone's okay and safe from the hurricane. And we were definitely praying for you guys and appreciate you guys supporting the series. And we'll, if you have anything else to add, do it now. And if not, we'll move on to our next guest. Thanks, Jake.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate your time. See you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, that's cool. That airship's cool. I got to say, that was
really it's definitely an interesting concept.
Slick. Yeah, it is. It is.
I really got into the inflatables this year, so it's crazy to see how far they're coming.
Yeah, it is. And with the way our anglers fish and what they do, it's a really cool thing. I mean, they're starting to use inflatables more and more. So we'll see. At least having one, just in case you need it, sometimes. So let's bring Mark in from Finman Fishing. He's got a lot of cool little products he's working on here. What's up, Mark?
How we doing, guys?
Good, man. You're our sponsor spotlight for the episode here, and you guys were kind of on board last year and donated some of your awesome.
Yeah, we joined in at the tail end of the series when we met you guys down at ICAST. So that was eye-opening to get into the kayak tournament side of things a little bit, and definitely excited to be working with you more fully this year.
Yeah, I am too. So what's exciting is you guys are going to donate. I don't know what you can explain which product, or if it's a little sample pack of a couple or whatever. You're going to donate some of these. You can explain them, but basically every single gift bag, $100 gift bag, is going to have one of your products in it. And of course, we all have fishing rods, so we all need this product. It's perfect. So you can explain it a little bit more, get the terminology better than I can.
Yeah, so we make line cutters and hook keepers. So this is our first product here. So this is a rod mounted line cutter, and there's a hook keeper in the tail. Looks like this right on the rod, but cuts mono, fluoro, and braid. It's got a snipper right up front for your mono and fluoro, and then there's slicing blade right here in the middle for your braid, hook keeper here in the tail. And then just like this jig has a weed guard, we put a line guard on the very front to make sure our line never accidentally gets into those blades, but makes tackle changes really quick and easy. You're not fumbling with any loose tools on the water just to change your tackle. I fish from a paddleboard a lot, and so talking about that airship, that sounds awesome. I love fishing from a paddleboard, and there's not a lot of places to be clipping gear leashes and everything too. So that's definitely where it's coming clutch for me personally. So
yeah, for sure. That's cool, man. Very cool. I love that. So when I saw it at ICAST, I was very intrigued because it weighs nothing. It doesn't, add anything to the rod, and then everything you need is right there. And so if you just hop out and you're running the bank, just real quickly, jump out of my truck, go fish somewhere and practice, make a few casts in the bank whenever, you just stop and everything is right there that you need. Throw a couple baits in your pocket or whatever and run out there. And then the other thing I thought was cool is tell me about, so in California, I got a picture. We'll have to show it sometime of me looking super dejected in California or in Arizona when the California guys who I was staying with took a picture of me because I was tying up a drop shot. Well, Shane Lamont actually helped me. I was like, dude, I haven't done this in so many years. I want to make sure I don't mess it up. And he helped me with it. And I was like,
drop shot?
No, I know. I just was prepared with one. I didn't want to. And that's why they were laughing. They took a picture of me because I was just like, my head was down and I was holding the spinning rod like, oh God, am I going to actually have to throw a drop shot? Anyway, but that's what I loved about your keeper because it has a place for the weight to go. And
so after we released multi-tool right there for the rod mount, we got a lot of feedback. People just saying, well, we love that we can put a hook keeper right where we want it. And I was like, well, I have some other issues with hook keepers that I'd like to solve. And so I took a design stab at solving some of those problems. So this is our other product here. So this is called Stow. It's like having a little tiny carabiner right on your rod. How do you get it behind my background? There you go. It's like having a little carabiner. So you can do exactly what you were mentioning. Drop shot weight. You have to do a little pretending with me right now. Pretend this is drop shot weight. All you got to do is click that line into that little carabiner area and it'll stow your drop shot weight. And even if your line goes slack, as soon as tension comes back, it goes right back home. So it's not coming off like, these open keepers that nobody likes, because nothing actually stays on those. Really secure way to stow your drop shot. That also allows you to, sorry, I'm in a converted school bus right now. So I have about 6 feet of headspace is all I got. So Texas Rakes, you don't have to pull the bait off. You just click that hook right in there. And same thing, even if your line slacks, it's not falling off. So that's our other product stow there. We might change it up. Gift bags, what we send out for what tournaments and stuff. We just launched a new sticky mount version, which I think is going to serve kayakers really, really well. Yeah, so that's stow, showing all the different ways you can stow. So, forgot to mention the no poke stow portion of it. But.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So it safely hides the hook.
So this is good for like if you throw your rods in the front seat of your truck, you're not going to get all like hung up on stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. And you guys are at a show. You're at a show, right? So people could pick some up. When's the next show?
Next show is not this weekend. It'll be next weekend up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, at the Great American Outdoor Show. We'll be there for 2 weekends.
Perfect.
That's our next one, and then we'll be over in Monroeville, then Indianapolis after that.
Nice. Hey, that's great. You guys can pick some up there. Of course, you're going to get one set in your gift bag for the Kayak Adventure Series registration. And I cannot wait to see what new cool stuff you guys come up with, because you're all about solving problems and creating solutions in the industry, and that's why we wanted to connect with you guys. So we're excited about it. So when you have a new product, you need to use Kayak Adventure Series in our stage and our theater to announce that new product. That'd be really cool. Like, so
and Marty asked how easy they are to change, and in my experience, they change super easy. So
they're super easy to change. Here's how we show how to do the installs at the shows, because it's huge so everyone can see. But we just use these attachment bands. So all you do is you pop the band off one side, it'll come off, put it onto the next rod, and you just loop it around. You don't take your reel off, don't go over any eyelets or anything like that.
Clips on.
Yep, super quick and easy.
I love it, man. You can move it wherever you want, because sometimes you notice on a rod, it's like it's not always where you want it. The line, the hook keeper there, it's never exactly where you want it, but you can put it exactly where you want it on your rod, which I love. So that's just a cool product, and you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the support. We'll stay in touch with you guys throughout the year.
You bet.
And if you have anything else you want to add now, then do it now, and if not, we'll roll on to the next guest.
I was just gonna say, put it wherever you want. I started to put mine right above that very first eyelet. Seems hokey, but it's never in the way, because all your line slaps happening down here.
Yeah.
So, always out of the way.
Dude, that works. I mean, it doesn't weigh anything really, so that's perfect. And Marty, I'm going to tell you right now, Marty, it's easy to move, but you just want one on every rod. I mean, every rod needs a keeper anyway, and one that's good and it's going to work where you want it to work and can hide your hook or take your drop shot or whatever. So, that's just that was a softball. I think Marty was almost asking that on purpose for me just to say, what are you talking about moving them, Marty? You need one on every rod, obviously. So that means you got to come. If you got 6 rods, you need to come to all 6 KS events, or I guess 7. I guess we got 7 now. So come to all 7. Get yourself 7 for your 7 rods. How about that, Marty? All right, man. Thanks a lot, Mark. We'll see you, buddy.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye. That was cool. Love that guy. Let's see. Dave is up next, I believe, and Dave is here. So we'll pull in Dave. And what's up, Dave? You are. Explain. Are you a club director or do you just fish in a club?
So a little bit of both. So I fish here locally, primarily with Carolina Kayak Anglers out of Greensboro and Central Carolina Kayak Fishing out of Raleigh. I am a team captain and regional rep for our Kayak Bass Team Series for the East region. So team here in the Carolinas and 2 in Virginia. So both.
Nice. Very cool, man. So the water's pretty good. Hank was going to come on, and he's done a great job. Writing our recap articles, and just helping. He worked on a press release, which we're getting out as soon as possible as well. It sounds awesome for 2025 season, but he's under the weather, so he couldn't make it. He was going to be on the show because he loves this, and he was a big part in getting. I want to shout out to about 9 local club directors that were on a big Zoom call, if you will, with me and Hank back in I don't know, man, this is 4 or 5 months ago.
It was,
yeah, because you were on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a while ago. And you guys, the camaraderie and the communication between the clubs there is really what kayak fishing is all about. You know what I mean? It really is. You guys kind of have your own little region niche. You try to work together and communicate the best you can, and there will always be overlaps and things like that. But it's one thing to not talk about it and try to kind of deconflict, and then there's another to talk about it. And then, of course, if you can't deconflict, then it is what it is. But you guys are great at it, and appreciate you guys all not scheduling an event on this weekend so we could all have one big party in South Boston, Virginia. So pretty much every club from Virginia and the Carolinas, or at least North Carolina, is off that weekend, and they're all coming here to basically it's a battle on the border, so to speak, between Virginia and North Carolina. Because explain the event you guys have that's called Battle on the Border on Bugs Island, Kerr Reservoir Lake.
Yeah, so Kerr Bugs every year. I actually don't know what year it started, but at least for 7-8 years now. Battle on the Border. So it started Carolina Kayak Anglers when Central Carolina came on board. They were part of it. Several of the Virginia clubs. Now like I said, we're expanding in North Carolina. We got clubs down in Wilmington area. We got clubs all the way out in the western part. So you're right. It's hard to not conflict with one another, but regionally, since we're close here, it's kind of what we're focused on. Battle on the Border, we get together. It's always on Kerr Bugs. It's always usually in October. So it's kind of after the regular trails kind of wind up. There may be the TOC events going on, but it's just, again, it's kind of like, in the spirit of what this is, just time to get together, bragging rights between the states, obviously. So it's a good event. Kerr Bugs is absolutely enormous. So it's a good place to hold a lot of people. So
what usually wins it? What usually wins that? What length?
Kerr's tough. And I think you'll hear that from the bass boat world. It's actually, I want to say probably in the upper 70s to 80s. So it's it's a fishery that's going on some changes. There are big fish in there. They're hard to find. The Alabama spotted bass have really gotten in there. They're at the point where they're starting to get kind of big. So we're hearing on the bass boat side, 3 and 4 pounders showing up in limits. I actually just heard something yesterday. Typically on the bass boat side, it's 12 to 15 pounds, in the summertime, obviously if you're pre-spawn. But they're starting to, out of the blue, they're starting to see 20-pound bags show up there. So it's changing for the good.
Quickly. Yeah. Yeah. That's a rare, I don't like to see that fish get moved around, and it's not good that they're there for this, but in some lakes that have already gone through the trophic upsurge and they're just so old and they don't let grass grow, they're never going to, the lake was made for 4 other reasons before fishing, right? Let's face it. It's power, water, recreational boaters and stuff. Then they care about us last. So they're naturally just always getting worse. Lakes are. And when they become, they don't let the grass grow or anything like that happen. That, that means that it just kind of get worse and worse. So the only way you can kind of fix it is if, the Alabama bass is the best at open water feeding, hunting down bait fish. And especially bluebacks get in there, I don't know if they're in there or not, but shad and everything else, they're good at it. So they're more of an open water, they're almost like a striper of the black bass. They're just the best at swimming around in the open water. That's why Lake Lanier, all of a sudden the bluebacks got in there and the Alabama bass got in there, and it's incredible fishery now because of that. So it kind of, Lake Hartwell's the same way. It's kind of worked out in some places. Hopefully Bugs is one of those, but because smallmouth aren't native to there anyway. So I know they're up in the rivers, but if it was a native smallmouth fishery, I'd be really, I'm ticked off anyway that somehow fish got moved, but at least it's not infringing because they will spawn with the smallmouth, and that it ruins the actual genetics, and you got a bunch of mutts, and then you lose out the genetics of both fish essentially. Because unlike a hybrid bass, that a striper spawns with a white bass and becomes a hybrid, they can't spawn.
Right.
They don't spawn, so it's like no big deal, right? Well, this is not true. Any of the black bass that spawn together and have a hybrid, a mix between the two, can spawn. So basically, now you got a 50-50 fish, right? Let's say a smallmouth, and fortunately, they don't spawn with largemouth. That's the only bass that the Alabama bass doesn't spawn with. It can't really. Every once in a while, blue moon, you do see it work and it happen, but it's very rare. And but the genetics of that Alabama and the smallmouth are much just more in sync, and so you got a 50-50 fish that now spawns with 100% fish, and now you got a 75-25 offspring, and it just keeps going. Where those it just sucks. But anyway, it sounds like the lake is going to be in good. In good shape with that fish, hopefully. And, your largemouth are going to get pushed out more and more. I promise you that. But let's talk about the other lakes, because some of these other ones. And let's talk about, I'm going to pull up the map, because this is what your segment, because we had a couple other guys that were going to come on, but you know it all. You're the man for us today to talk about this stuff. So let's see. Hey, there's JL Scott. Hey, I sent you a message, man. I don't know if you got it, to see if you want to come on the show, but he may have sent me something back. I don't know. Somali chase a river bass, but anyway, let's see. I don't know where. Here we go. This is right here. Share. All right, boom. So here's the eligible water. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to start here down in North Carolina. This is Hyco Lake.
Hyco Lake, yeah. So if I'm a little jazzed up about Hyco, it's where I cut my teeth kayak fishing. So I've spent by far more time on Hyco than any of these other lakes. Yeah, Hyco Tammany, Native American for great turkey buzzard. I always like to talk about that.
Cool.
That's what the name for the lake is. It's a power plant lake, 3,700 acres. It's got a single ramp right there at the campground. You see the marker right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. That's the only ramp?
That's the only ramp on Hyco, believe it or not. Yeah, which is interesting now that, surprise.
Get your motors ready.
But Kayak Adventure Series, you can launch from any public access. So there could be another public property, you know what I'm saying, like on the lake that I don't know, there could be.
Good luck finding it. Not that I'm aware of. Yeah. And you
can throw it off that bridge, I guess, if you
I think maybe. Yeah. As far as I know locally, it's the one and done. But don't let that deter you. It's such a great fishery. It's actually not that well known on the local kayak scenes. I think there's been 5 events to my knowledge on it. So CKA was the first in 2018. They fished in February, which is pretty tough. But since then, we've had 2 of the team series events, which I'm with Tar Heel Lunkers, so go Lunkers. And I shout out to Hank.
Shout out,
He wrote an article for us on Bass Trail about our championship event this past fall. So check that out. Appreciate you, Hank. It was great. Anyways, back to the point. CCKF has fished there twice in recent memories, once in the fall and once in the spring. So I'll just tell you, it's got a ton of fish. I say what makes it unique, it's the closest lake to Raleigh and Durham with houses on it. So, you hear Falls Lake, Jordan, Sharon Harris, no houses means no docks. And I think, it's just a unique place with docks everywhere. It used to get a ton of pressure as far as pleasure traffic. That's gotten a little better with things they've done to change that. But yeah, it's just, honestly, there's a ton of, small fish in there, but there's just as many good quality 17 to 20 inchers. It is hard to get a 20 or bigger for sure, but they're in there.
What about this part of it?
Is that a dam?
Right, so that's so that's technically After Bay. What they call After Bay right there.
Yeah, this is a dam. That's a dam right there.
Yep, dam's there.
It separates the 2 lakes, but this is legal to fish, right? Because we saw a public boat launch on it right here, so we added it.
It is with a disclaimer, and I'll follow up in the next week or 2. The last time I was there was in last spring. They actually had it drawn down and it was roped off and closed. I'd heard rumor that they're working on the dam on After Bay on the lower end.
Okay.
But I can't find any publications on that. So I'll dig into that and let you know in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we're going to have to update our anglers on that closer to the event. Could have just been a temporary drawdown for some work. The like you're saying, the other one is Mayo Lake.
Yep. So surprise again, another single launch lake. Right there, kind of middle lake.
Yeah, right here.
Yep. Both of these do have little campgrounds on them too, near the lakes. Just FYI. But Mayo is an awesome fishery. A little bit clear water. There used to be a ton of vegetation in there. It's gone by the wayside a little bit clear water than Hyco. There used to be some giant bags in that lake. There were some boat tournaments that put out 30-pound bags. I think it's a little bit of a downturn, but I mean, it's got quality 18-inch plus fish in it. I fished it probably half a dozen times. I'm only, it's funny. I'm only probably an hour and 20 minutes from it, but Hyco's 20 minutes closer. So I fished that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. We will have to make a call. Probably I'll go back and look at our rules and see. This looks like it's not connected, but we'll have to make a call and figure out because if that's like a little separate pond or something.
Yeah, and I have actually been down to that arm. I'll talk to some guys here locally. We can.
We'll have to.
It looks like there's a pipe.
There probably is, but
I can see it there on the map. It's
the way the KAS rules read is if that pipe is, let's say you're going up a river or creek or something, and you get to, or even on a lake, and you get to a pipe like that, and on the other side it's no longer considered the lake on the map, then it's not in play if you can't get through the pipe, right, with the kayak. But if it's just a pipe and the other side of the lake is still considered the lake on the map, you know what I mean? Then it is legal to just launch straight into it. So we'll have to
if you switch to street or like just normal map, like from satellite. Just
yeah.
Yeah. You can
I see the pipe. I see we're talking about. It's like right in the middle there.
It's almost like a bridge.
Right
I don't think
there.
it's a pipe. It's like a little like canal.
I don't know, but I don't see it here. But anyway, we'll have to. Situations like that are, interesting with our rules because we do a lot of portaging and stuff. But so yeah, if it's part of the lake still and it's legal to fish, then you can launch in there or portage over that road. But we will have to clarify that one. That's interesting. We just saw that. But you guys read the rules and you kind of understand. Again, if you're going up some random creek that there's no real major, maybe in the bottom there's a creek or river, and you go all the way up and you find some pipe that leads somewhere, if you can't get through it with the kayak way up there, then you're that's where it kind of stops. Our rules, the way it's written, so where you got to stop. But anyway, we'll figure that out before the event. We'll have another show, but let's talk about some other waters because you may or may not know this is the downstream of the Dan River. So where, that's it's upstream. Technically, that's the upstream, but it's south of the Dan River, and the Dan comes all the way in and feeds, right here in the head of Bugs and Kerr, and then. You've already talked about Bugs Kerr, which is right here, guys. This big one right here.
Yeah, Bugs Kerr is massive. Tons of access points on Bugs Kerr.
Tons. Now, the Dan River's got some fish in it too. And that's got some smallies, I believe. So that could be a player. And then you go all the way down in North Carolina, like I showed you guys with it. So an hour away. So just southwest of Danville. So good fish in there, I know. Have been caught, so could be a player. We got this one here that's called the Bannister River. It's a smaller river, and it actually feeds into a little lake called Bannister Lake. So I don't know if you guys have ever fished that because it's pretty small to have a tournament, but who knows,
Yeah, I never fished it, but I can tell you, it's not too far away from where I'm at in Burlington, and there's tons of those little lakes that have giants. So it may be a little honey hole.
It could be. And then that's the river itself. And it looks like that river gets so small, we didn't even need to put upstream launch boundary on it because it peters out within an hour anyway, where it doesn't matter, right? So this, I think, is the Staunton River. Well, it's called Roanoke, and you can see right there it's called Roanoke. I don't know why it changed its name. If anyone could tell me why, that'd be awesome. But it's the bigger river that probably from the Dan. Looks a little bit bigger, and it's a pretty wild place. So that could be a player. I know some smallmouth, largemouth in there, some nice like shoals like that, pretty stuff like that. So
that looks fun.
Yeah, it does look fun.
Looks like a kayak adventure.
That does look like a kayak adventure. So rivers, lakes, either one it looks like is going to have a potential to win in this event. Now, one of the lakes I think could be chosen by some folks who live closer to Farmville. I know it's a popular Virginia destination is Briery, and that was within an hour, it's probably like 55 minutes or something. So we included it. Now, Briery's got all that, I think we've talked about this before, but that was all that timber that it's hard to tell on that satellite image, but maybe this one's easier. It's got like vegetation you can see, and I'm gonna find a good area where you guys can. I fished it before. I have fished it one time.
Shallow and tons of timber. Yeah,
shallow and tons of timber, but this is satellite.
That imagery doesn't show exactly.
This is not showing all the trees everywhere. There's just timber everywhere sticking up. So boo to Google for giving us an image where it's super high. But this is a better take right here. Like I said, all that timber. Look at that. That's like the whole lake. I mean, trust me, it's there. You just can't see it on the other satellite image. So that's a pretty wild place. And some bigs have been caught out of it. So, I mean, between the rivers and the lakes, I think it could be one in either at this event. I actually think it could be one with either species, and even Alabama bass now kicking in, right? So this one it's a toss-up, man. You got any thoughts or comments on what, now that you see, obviously you know what bugs usually wins at bugs. You know what wins at, Mayo and or Heiko, and Mayo. And you guys can go back and look at the look at all the results. People, this is not some secret I'm telling anybody. You guys are obviously going to go back and look at any of you guys' events and see kind of what wins, so you kind of know what you want to hit. So, but now that you know the format, right? It's Friday for just a brief, like 4 hours of fishing afternoon, and then Saturday for a full day. You got all those new lakes in play and different lakes that could, have bigger bags than yours. So do you think we're looking at a low 90s or upper 90s, mid 90s? Do you think it's high 80s? What do you think? If you had to we're not going to hold you to this. So
no, it's a good question. And I'll premise this by saying, when I saw this event, I was like, I don't know that you could get a more diverse selection of bodies of water. Cause you have huge reservoirs, you have, reservoir. I mean, a lot of fluctuation potentially this time of year. I mean, we're early May, we can get some rain events that can, cause havoc with some of the rivers and some of the flows. I think this is going to be an event where guys are going to have to go into it with an open mind, guys and gals, open mind,
Sure.
Be flexible, because anything can happen. I think it could be an event where you may, maybe you do find something you're confident and fish the same body both days, but you may want to split it up. If you do the team side, you may want to split it up. You got a lot of variables here. So given the time of year, obviously we've had a much colder winter so far. We'll see what happens. That could, delay spawn a little bit. We'll see. I mean, I know some of these lakes, there's still some spawning fish into late May.
Yeah.
So for sure that could be in play depending on where you're at. I just knowing some of these bodies of water, and like I said, the spotted bass are getting bigger. There will be some, if you choose to fish curve bugs, you could get some 18-inch spots. They're in there now, maybe bigger.
Yeah.
I'd see low 90s. I do think it's what's going to take. Mid 90s, you're really pretty.
I think so. I think a big part of it really is going to be what you just said about the rivers. And is there going to be any sort of like major high, are they going to get blown out or something? Because that's possible with those rivers. They do run murky if enough rain hits. And that's the time of year where you could get some rain. So, but then again, if it's not just chocolate milk, the people that know what they're doing in rivers can go smash them when it's high and moving, because the water is going to be, that time of year fairly warm at that point. So fish are going to be aggressive and wanting to feed, and it's going to position them. So, and if they haven't spawned yet in the rivers, which is a little bit later usually, then yeah, you might get some real hungry pre-spawn. So, but if the rivers are blown out and you got to go in the lake, it's going to, maybe condense some of the anglers into some of the other ones, some of the lakes, and who knows. But I'm excited to see how it's going to all shake out. And the game we've created with Kayak Adventure Series, and how you guys all out there watching, you know your style, yourself. You're a creek river guy. You're a live scope lake guy. You're somewhere in between. You like a small lake. You're a small lake guy. It's it doesn't matter. You got your choices here. You can kind of choose your adventure, as we say, a Kayak Adventure Series, and that's always going to be. Don't stress out, guys. Don't worry if you've never really done this about how many lakes are in play, because you just kind of have to figure out who you are, and you eliminate a lot of those waters right before you even get there. And then practice your 4 days, which will start 2 weeks prior, right? So 2 Fridays prior. Someone look at a calendar. Maybe I can pull it up. It'd probably be, let's see, what would that be? My calendar's giving me problems. 2 Fridays prior.
April 18th, I think.
Yeah, April 18th, maybe. It'll go on the website, but yeah, it'd be probably the 18th. And then you'll have 4 days to fish, and you guys choose which 4. So good luck. We appreciate your time, Dave. You've been great, giving us some good insight, and best of luck in the tournament. You going to fish it as a team as well with somebody, or just?
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to do the team thing. Haven't reached out to anyone. No one's hit me up yet, but I'll definitely pull that together and make it happen. And yeah, shout out, because I know, we're spreading the word with our local club. So if you're watching this, I'm sure go to kayakadventureseries.com. You'll see it all, but we'll be talking about it in our local circuits as well. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. South Boston's awesome. Cool little spot.
This is going to be incredible. Got the GoPro guarantee, $7,500 at this event. So if the payout would have been $5,000 in the individual division, it's going to bump you up to $75,000. All you got to do is film with the GoPro, tag us, tag Kayak Adventure Series. All the actual details will end up in a little page on the website soon. And we need 2 of your 5 fish that end up on your stringer, 2 of them filmed. So, battery dies, things happen. I get that. We're not even asking for all 5, just 2. We just want to promote you guys on social, which Jake's doing a good job, and especially at the theater at the awards. So having those winning fish up there, at least 2 of those catches, your biggest one, will be awesome. And anyway, but thanks, Dave. We'll catch you later, and have a great week.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care, Hank.
Yeah, shout out to Hank there. Hopefully he feels better. I know being sick sucks, man. Anyway, yeah, that's it. We wrapped up in an hour. I don't know whatever else. Yeah, we did good. And we showed some of my fish catches from Havasu. So that was cool. Very cool. But yeah, let's look at any comments. We need to answer anything.
I think we got. I tried to do it in real time. JT said he was going to get his Riverfest clips up, which will be great, because I was actually looking for some of his clips. I was like, didn't he catch a good one on a rat? I want to see that one.
He did. Yeah, he got some good ones. So that's cool. Again,
I did put the link for this. It's in the comments. I can.
Is that for submitting the
submission portal? And we've also got it on the website too. So
hey, and we forgot to shout out, which is up there in the top right as always. On our way out here, we'll talk about Dustin Hoy. What's up, Dustin? If you're still watching, always appreciate you. Good morning to you. Raccoon Creek Outfitters, thank you guys for supporting the live stream. As always, go if you're anywhere in the region, a great place to go. Pick up a kayak, get a kayak rig. They're really getting good at rigging, dude. I'm telling you what, he's got that XTR from Bonafide. Dustin has, and he's got it. He's getting to get that thing dialed. I'm going to see him down on Kissimmee. We're going to fish the Bassmaster on Kissimmee. So I'm excited to see his setup, how it's looking.
And I'm like really conflicted. I kind of want to fish that event, but that's a lot of travel.
It's a long way away, man. You can always fly in. I can bring a shoalie for you. You just fly on in.
Yeah.
So
I guess you don't really need a motor for some of those lakes either. You just paddle.
I got an extra motor. If you ended up making it, let me know. I got the new Torqeedo with 1 battery, which is the size of, it's like 2. The old one.
Yeah.
So you have basically essentially 2 Torqeedo batteries. But yeah, let me know. Make it happen if you want to come do it. Thanks guys for the time. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for the love, and we'll keep trying to grow this thing and make it even hopefully even cooler, bigger and better and cooler. We're trying our best here.
Yeah, make sure you guys are submitting your footage if you guys competed in an event in the past. Just throw it up on that form. Make sure you put your name on it though. I've had and even like your social media handle as well, because that way I don't have to hunt people down, because that's been the hardest part.
Yeah, for sure. I think next week we're previewing the so I see the Susky event from Bronzeback Bass, and I think we're previewing what is it? The probably the Great Midwest of Us. Wow, it's already Great Midwest of Us time.
Yeah, and that one is I think that one's gonna be a really popular one.
We gotta get too. We're gonna have to get some folks on there, like some cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, so this is a Wild Whitehall clip.
Yeah, this is a cool clip, and the reason why I like this clip is because it's different. He's out there fishing his style.
Yeah,
flipping docks, and like the funny thing I thought about this clip, and the angler probably could have given us more insight, but I'm pretty sure he didn't think this was a big one, and so he's just kind of like, oh yeah, and all of a sudden it starts to rip and drag, and he's like, oh man.
Is that going up today, or when
it's already up?
It's already up.
If you guys want to go support this clip and Giovanni's page, this is the link.
Yeah, go support Giovanni. This is awesome. This is
look
at that, dude. Wow.
That is a tank. And that came,
I love it.
Pretty sure that's White Lake. I'm like 90% sure.
White Lake, yeah. There was a lot of anglers on White Lake. That's cool. See, this is what I love, man. You guys get us the footage. We'll put it up on our social. We'll share it. The social's growing. We almost got 2,000 followers, so go give us a follow if you're not already on Instagram. But that's cool, man. We can cover ourselves in the sports. Yeah,
and this one
Ethan's
was cool
awesome.
too.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
And he told me after that this was his PB to this day. So this is like his bucket list.
Oh, Yes, baby. Oh, mwah. Look at you. Okay.
I love this clip.
Oh my gosh.
Like, he doesn't know the GoPro's on. He's just, he forgot. I mean,
that's 20 inches. It's 20-inch fish.
It's so genuine. Like the one that Andrew posted too, we know from Kentucky, when you guys posted that, go check out that one too. He's like, we're going to the top, girl. You and me are going to the top. It was awesome. He's fighting that smallmouth. And he's like, I love that you guys are covering yourselves so well with the Naqua battery packs, guys. It's so easy. Just we'll have them at the events. Just plug it in with the cable. Like the new GoPros are just, they're amazing. I've been using that 13. They're so good. The new Hero's great. Other action cameras are totally fine too, but I know those have been great for me. And it's easy these days. It really is. And look at these moments we get to share. So keep it up, guys.
And what's crazy too is like, there's a lot of people don't realize what a big boon it is to catch a 17 to 18-inch fish.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's huge in my event.
Everyone's like, oh, that's not a big one. I'm like,
Havasu.
well, in a tournament it is.
Darn right. 14.25-inch squeaker won me the tournament. But that's what's amazing about tournaments. People don't get it. You catch a 14.25 on any given day, you really are just like, whatever. Like, you don't really care anymore, because once you become desensitized and catch enough bass, then it's like, I hate to say it, it is like a drug. You almost need that bigger high. Well, now I need a little bit of skin in the game, and that 14.25 becomes something. Yeah, bronze back. I'll come on the show. We'll talk about the Susky. But and Jake's over here in the chat saying, I love the amount of content he's been seeing from KAS. It makes me super excited for this year. That's it, man. You guys are buying in and it's working like to our vision. We just want to share your adventures. So appreciate that, Jake. And the last thing I was going to mention was, forget what it was actually, but we're going to get, let me see if I can get, maybe Andrew Hayes can come on here from Tackle Talk. He fishes those rivers around there. Maybe get Brad Hicks, Matt Souders. Let's get those guys on from the Catch Pod for next week's show. I've been a little bit behind scheduling stuff because this Havasu event, but we got a lot of local hammers that are in the area that we could pull. Jason Isaacs in here. We could pull, just you name people. There's so many anglers we know down that we could bring Billy back, dude. Billy, I know he's been busy and whatnot, and but let's get Billy back in here possibly. So we got a lot of anglers to interview for next week's show.
Billy did catch like a 21-inch fish out of an Ohio creek. So clearly he knows something.
Well, the hubbub for that next event, it really is that somebody could hit like 100 inches.
Fish big, and he's a big. It's a toad. It's a toad. Come on, girl, stay with me. Stay with me. I don't have a net. Stay with me, baby. Stay with me. You and me will go to the top. It's a stud. It's a stud. Check out that butte. She's a giant. She's a giant.
Oh, I
can't
love
lose this fish. Quick measurement, 17 on the dot.
I love it.
I got to get my phone.
See, that's a big one in a tournament. That is a big fish.
How many fish?
I think I got the photos.
I fished that.
What a beast of a fish. Thank you so much, good sir. Thank you for playing the game.
All right. Well, that's a good way to end it, man. I appreciate you, Jake. Keep crushing it over there on the social side. We'll keep doing what we can over here on our side. Thanks again to everybody at part of the Kayak Adventure Series team, all the anglers, Josiah, our high school division, manager, intern. He's doing a great job. He's doing awesome. Appreciate him. But yeah, we'll catch you guys at the next one next week. Same time, same place, talking about the great Midwest of us. And this was a good preview for South Boston Bassathon. And I cannot wait to get there at that brewery, that theater, all the cool stuff there in that town. So I'm excited. We'll see you guys next week. See you, Jake. Stay warm, everybody. Later.